Hey Brad, I'm Dave from Los Baños, and I've been hearing a lot about karma lately. Can you tell me exactly what people mean when they talk about karma?
Karma. What is karma? What is it? It's misunderstood, misused, and today on the 1 Year Life Transformation Challenge, we're going to talk about the Karma Police and 5 ways you can get your karma to serve you better. Hello everyone, today I want to talk about karma because it's something that is just so misunderstood. I hear the word being used all the time in every situation, and it's been manipulated, and some people use it in very interesting situations. So karma is going to be explained today, and we're going to talk about 5 ways to improve your karma. And I want to start with a story, and more importantly, before I start with that story, let's talk about my personal experience with karma. So I've always felt that what you do to others comes back around. Now, that's not exactly karma though, right? Now we're going to help define karma, but we all know that you're trapped in the world you live and your mental state. And I used to say something that really served me is that I remember being in Sydney and I used to drive and the traffic was horrible, and you'd always get people cut you off, and my wife at the time would say, look at that person cutting us off, and you should beep your horn, tell them off. And I would say their punishment is that they have to live a life in which they cut people off. Or I'd say their punishment is the fact that that's the behaviour they manifest, or their punishment is they have to live in their head. Because we all know when you cut someone off or you give someone the finger, it's a bad place to be. And your karma is immediate, so what you do outside becomes within straight away. People will never act or treat you in any way that does not reflect how they feel in the moment. And if they're hateful in the moment, they'll act hateful. So that karma is immediate, and I used to see that all the time. And it was illustrated by understanding who you are to understand karma, because I'm going to try and debunk a few myths about karma. But first I'm going to start with a story that I call the Karma Police. So I want you to imagine that this is a mystical story, right? So I want to take some liberties on this. So there's these individuals called Karma Police, and you can imagine that they're dressed up like Agent Smith from The Matrix. And they come at you and they have powers. So what they do is they take you into a room and they strip you of your clothes. What's left? Well, a naked body is left. And then they start stripping you of your labels. So they say, I'm taking your name, you don't get to have that anymore. I'm going to take your house, I'm going to take your car, I'm going to take your family, I'm going to take your traditions. Now you're sort of just left with this person, this nameless person, but you still have your body, you still have all your bits and pieces. But then magically, without killing you and keeping you alive, they start taking your liver. They start taking all your beliefs out of your head. They start taking your mouth. They start taking your teeth. They start taking your chest, your bones. They start sucking the blood out of you. They take your eyes. And eventually they take every single cell that's within you. What's left? What is left once the Karma Police? What can't they take? What can these police not take from you? The answer is they can't take your awareness. They can't take your awareness of the event. You're beyond that body. They could never take the awareness, the fact that it's happening, the fact that this is transpiring. They can't take that. And you're aware of this transaction, therefore you're beyond that, you're the awareness. And now we know a bit more about who we are through that little story. I want to start explaining karma. So karma is not as simple as, you clip someone on the ears and then you get clipped on the ears a couple of days later. You are part of a collective. You're part of the collective consciousness, and we're all involved in karma. We're all involved in each other's karma. So it's not as simple as Hitler is going to have a really bad reincarnation for the next 50 lifetimes, because there's a little bit of Hitler in all of us. And what about the people who allowed Hitler to grow? What about the conditions that Hitler was brought up in? Who's responsible for that? So it's far more complex than we can imagine. We are all linked by each other's karma. So when someone across the world shoots someone in the head for no reason, that affects our collective karma. And because we're all living together at the same time, non-linear. This is going to be challenging. So forget linear time. Imagine there was only one moment of time where everything that could ever happen is happening right now. We have to be the best versions of ourselves in that moment in order to create global conditions for us to live happily. So the idea of, you might go out and have a great life, and that's fantastic for you, but it's about bringing all of humanity up, lifting all of humanity up so we can all become enlightened. We all need to act. It's not good enough to have some people sitting on the couch and some people doing good. We all need to act to raise our collective enlightened consciousness. So understanding that good deeds, doing good things for others, will help the collective consciousness. Now, this is how it works, right? So the idea of pay it forward, but you're going, Brad, this sucks, man. Like, I can look after myself, but I can't help if other people are pork chops. Well, I agree, but think about it from this perspective. When you help someone selflessly, unconditionally, raise them up and give them some love and some joy and some hope, what happens to that person? They feel better about themselves. And like I always said, when you feel good, you do good, therefore they do good. And when they do good, what happens to that person? They do good. So you can see that chain, that karmic chain is linked. As much as we want to be, I gave $100 to charity, or I did this free video series, or whatever you think that you've done that's great, understand that karmic cycle is about paying it forward, because until we get everyone on board, we're going to be stuck in situations, repetitive, repeating patterns. So now we understand karma a bit more. How can we improve karma? So the karma of the collective is improved by being present. For every human being on this planet who is present, they're able to affect their karma. You can only affect your good deeds, your good intentions, and your karma in the moment. You can't go back in time and think about changing something. You can't go into the future. You have to do it from the present moment. Now, what's super crazy about this is the book called the Yoga Sutra, which talks about karma. Karma is also non-linear. This is where it gets really cool. So if you do something really amazing right now, it affects the karma of your previous incarnations, your previous children, and also the future. So you can change the future, because quantum mechanics says we live within quanta of time. And you can affect that entire quanta of time, whether it be people from 50 years ago or people 50 years from now, by doing good deeds. It just doesn't affect this, it affects the overall quanta of the moment. So how else? Number 2, on how you improve your karma, be spontaneous. Jupiter didn't think, or Saturn's good, we'll talk about Saturn. Saturn didn't stress and think and plan out on a pie graph using Euclidean lines and using advanced geometry and trigonometry to create its rings. It just has rings around it, and they're beautiful and spectacular and mind-blowing. Spontaneous action is what creates the universe. Within you is a knowing on what's right. Be spontaneous, come from that place. Overthinking creates fear, scarcity mentalities, and doesn't always do you the best, especially when it comes to karma. Number 3, Jesus was all over this. He was all over karma. Forgive others. When you forgive others, you allow them to break the bonds of their previous bad karma and start again from the moment. Forgiveness of others not only affects your karma, but because we're all linked, it affects theirs, which therefore affects your karma again. Because remember, when you forgive someone, you feel better about the situation. Therefore, you feel good, so you do good. Is this starting to make sense? I hope so. Number 4, understand that we're all connected. And until everyone gets it, we aren't going to get it. As much as we want to put ourselves on pedestals, we are living within our environment. It's great to be, zenning out on the couch, but if someone comes past and shoots you in the leg, it's going to hurt. You want to get that dude to a place where he doesn't want to shoot you in the leg. So we're all connected. We can't say, stuff the people in Mozambique because they're all whatevers. We'll just focus on this group. Understand that we are all connected. The best way to not let this overwhelm you is to know that once you fix yourself and deal properly with the people around you, that chain, 6 degrees of separation, can reach every single person on the globe. And finally, forgive yourself. You are the captain of your ship. And because you're God incarnate through a subjective form for this brief moment, you have the power to unbreak your karma bonds. And remember, because it's non-linear, so you can fix the karma of the past and the future through the present moment, forgive yourself and start again and start doing the great right things that you know are right now. I can't wait till our rebirth tomorrow where our karmas just improve a little bit, and I'll see you then for that video. But until then, goodbye.